It's Mass Make Monday, and I started putting these together, and I thought I need to stop and turn on my camera. So what are we doing today? Hi, I'm Cindy. Welcome to my channel, and we are making these 1, 2, 3, 4 fold pockets. Aren't those cool? So when you put it on a page, you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. Or you could do a top loading pocket if you choose to, depending upon how you choose to put it on the page. And bonus, we're using up 6x6's. I really want to get rid of all my 6x6's. Why? Because this is my no-buy year, and so I'm trying to use up the stash that I have. That's reason number one. And reason number two, I want more 6x6's. I have a paper addiction, and we know this. If you don't have any 6x6's, take a 12 by 12 and cut it up. Now you have 4 6x6's. Just cut it in half again. 6x6, automatic 6x6's. So I have a lot of 6x6's. So let's talk about how to put this together. You're going to end up with a couple of extra tags that you can then use that match. And yeah, let's get going. So for my 6x6's, I have chosen, let's see, this piece and this piece, which I really like. I want to do a blue journal. It's kind of in the back of my head. These came out of Pandora. This is by Panalisa. It is a 6x6 pad, 160 GSM. I did a review of this at one point. I do like the paper. It's good paper. Several of my sheets, including that pinky one, and I think maybe that's it, came out of Violet Studio. This is 180 GSM. And then most of my sheets came out of this Craftsmith 2016. It's called Tea Party. Oh my glory, this is so old and I've had it for such a long time. It's time we used up some of this stuff. So what will you need? You'll need 6x6 pieces of paper. You'll need glue. Whether I'm using Fabri-Tac, you can use Fabri-Tac or art glitter glue, anything that gives a nice thin line. You may choose to use a corner rounder. I have a couple of different corner rounders. Actually, I only have 2 corner rounders. Those are the ones that I will choose to use. You're going to need something to cut with. Either a slider type, you're going to need a pair of scissors, or you're going to need a craft knife, a guillotine. We have a lot of different ways to cut paper, don't we? Whatever works for you. So I'm just going to set that aside. You may choose to use a scoreboard. I'm going to get mine out here because I'm going to use the scoreboard on the first one, but we're going to make these several different ways. This is a mass make, and we can make them with a cutting board or a scoreboard. We can make them without a scoreboard. You can make them with one of these. You can make them without one of these. The only thing you really need that you can't do without is the paper and the glue. You may choose to, I'll leave that down because I'm going to use the cutter on here to begin with as well. You may also choose to have some something to distress with. This particular one I distressed with chipped sapphire. This one I did with vintage photo. I'm going to do this one with chipped sapphire as well because I want that blue. Okay, let's make one. So the first thing I want to do is cut one that cut up. No, I don't want to cut that one. This one I am bringing up this. Oh, scoring. Okay, get your act together here, Dupre. I'm going to get out my scoreboard here. I knew I had it out for a reason. And I want to score this at 2 inches. I'm going to flip it over. Score it at 2 inches. Now I put my scoreboard away. I'm done with my scoreboard. I'm going to fold that up. And like I said, you can use the scoreboard, not use the scoreboard. You can measure it and just fold it. We're going to fold it a couple different ways. Now, at this point, I want to do rounded corners because I just like the look. You don't have to do rounded corners. If you have a geometric pattern on your paper, you may say, you know what, I don't want rounded corners. I think it would look silly. That is perfectly fine. Then don't do rounded corners. I want rounded corners. Okay, empty that. Just set that aside. Okay, at this point now I have the first two folds. I have this one and this one. Now, obviously, I'm not using double-sided. I do have one in here that's double-sided. I haven't tried a double-sided yet. We're going to, and we'll see what happens. Okay, let me move you guys up and out of the way for the moment because we're not using you right now. Now, this is going to be the other two pieces. For this, I want one at 1 inch. So I want a 1-inch strip. If you have 1-inch strips that you're trying to use up, this is a good place to use them. Okay, but I'm using up my 6x6s, so I want my 1-inch strip, and then I need a 3-inch strip. 1 and 3. That leaves me with a 2-inch piece. I'm not going to get rid of that because, let me show you what I did with the other two. This was the 1-inch piece that was left over from the other one, and I've started to decorate them. And these will go in my journal. They may end up in this particular piece. They may end up in something else, or some other part of the journal, but I'm not going to get rid of them. I'll use them up. So I'll just set that aside for now. That'll be making journal cards later. So I have my 1-inch piece and I have my 3-inch piece, but I need to do my corners. So let me do the corners on this one. And a corner here. So now I have my corners fixed. You see how this is coming together? I hope you're mass making with me. Now this particular corner has been giving me grief. And then I want to flip it over and do the other corner. Excellent. So there we go. Isn't that cool? Now, I am going to, at this point, I need to do my distressing. Because I would like the edges on all of this to have just a little bit of this extra blue thrown in here. I also don't like that white. And I don't want, because there's so much of that white. And this gray behind it, of course, I don't know why I'm doing that whole bottom part. You're not going to see it. So let me just do the top part here. And you are going to see all of this. And I'm going to come back to that part in a second and show you what I'm going to do with that. But let's get the edging done first. And you're going to see most of this. Now, a lot of this paper ends up behind things, but it's really okay. This is, it just gives it the little bit of added flavor. And I have another piece of this anyway. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring my paper down. And I am going to color it. And I'm not going to, I'm not looking for an even coat. I want it to have some texture to it so that when I put it all back together again, like this, now I have some texture. Now I'm going to grab another blue. I have another blue in here somewhere. Hang on, I'm going to pause. Well, that was only a few minutes for you, but oh my glory, I could not find my stormy sky. I wanted a little bit of this stormy sky to change that color up just a little bit so that when I put it in here, it wasn't quite so blue. There we go. Now I like it. All right, so stormy sky. Distress Oxide. That's the color I was looking for. It took me forever to find it. All right, let's put these papers up out of the way. Those are all done, and now we're ready to glue. This part is actually easy. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on just the edge there and then down along the bottom. Now I did see this particular technique being done by a woman. I will link her video down below. She did this bottom part differently than I am. This part, the second part. She did it as a separate, because she wanted her pattern to show. She cut this and flipped it over so that she could see both parts. I'll do that with one of them just so that you can see the difference. But then I'm going to simply take this and do up along one side, do up along the other side with a little bit of glue. Make sure that this is set right and nice and level and over. Everybody's lined up. There we go. And then we're going to, that looks a little bit crooked to me. We're a little bit crooked. There we go. Now we're set. Okay, and we're going to take our glue and we're going to come up here. And we're going to come up here. We're going to close it over. And now we have another piece ready to go onto a journal page. And I still have these pieces left over, which I'm going to just stick in there now so that I don't forget that I can use that up. That's the white side showing. Let me put it that way. So that I can add and make that later on if I want. All right. So that's, I've got 3 done today so far. Let me grab another set of papers. So these are a little bit heavier. These are closer to a cardstock, a heavy cardstock. This is from the paper pad. They did not tell me the GSM, but it's a pretty heavy cardstock. Is this the set I want to do next? Or do I want to do that set? Let's do this set next. I'm going to do this set next because I want to do the change. I want to show you, I want to do it with the 2 different pieces rather than the folded up. So rather than fold this one up, I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. And now I'm going to have my 2 pieces, but they're separate. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. And I like the fact that this already has stripes on it. So I can cut, I want 1 inch and 3 inches. So let me get 3 inches first because I want most of that. So I'm going to get all of that for the 3 inches. And then I want 1 inch. Let me think how I want my 1 inch. Do I want it there or do I want it there? No, I think I want, because the 1 inch is going to cut those roses right in half. Now I'm not even going to get most of those roses. So let me put it this way, and my 1 inch, I'm not going to get any roses. I'm still going to get a few roses. All right, we're going to set that aside, and that will be tags for later. All right, you're done. So now when we assemble, and this time I'm going to use my smaller corner rounder and just give it small pieces. 1, 2. This time I only need to do the top of this one because the bottom is elsewhere. And do I want it this way? Or do I want the yellow showing? I think I want the yellow showing. I can change my mind. So I have this and this and this. And then that. Okay. Now when I assemble, I'm assembling a few more pieces. That's really the only difference. Told you, we're going to do this a couple of different ways. Didn't use the scoreboard for this one because I cut the piece off instead. So let me, come on. I'll bring you right down here. Put you here and here. Probably should have a glue page. Let me grab my glue, get a page off my glue book here, just to have down here, because I am making a bit of a mess. This time I'm going to go down and around like I did before. Now this is the page that on the other one was already connected, so I didn't have to do the bottom because it was folded over. Got a little bit of a smudge there. Okay, I'm going to bring that there. I'm going to put these two together. Now notice this one I did not distress. And I partly that's because I forgot. Got a little bit of glue coming over here. Partly I did that because I forgot, and partly now that I've done it, I'm okay with it, because I still got some oozing out over there, because this is really old paper. Like I said, it's from 2016, which, you know, is only 9 years old, but in paper life, that's, you know, pretty old. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't, I think you can see, it's already yellowing around the outside. So I don't need to distress it. It's already got yellow all over it. Now, you might say, okay, but you're not, why aren't you putting any, hang on, I'm carrying a little bit of stuff over here, get some of that off of there. Why aren't you putting any decoration on this? You're just making these, you're not decorating them. You've got a whole bunch from here and they're not decorated. How come you're not decorating them? Well, I'm not decorating them because, quite honestly, I think they're pretty much decorated enough. And once I start throwing cards into them, I'm going to have plenty of decoration. It isn't going to need anything more once you're throwing in cards. You know, you put stuff in there, you don't need the decoration. So I don't think I want to decorate these any further than they are. I like the fact that the different patterns show up. Okay. All right. Let's do one that's two-sided. This one is a little bit different because it has, this is the only two-sided paper that I have out at the moment. So I'm going to cut off my little bit of extra piece here. And that'll go into my thing, because I, you know, that whatever this goes into, it will find its own piece. And this time I'm going to fold up. Oh, this is that also two-sided? No, that's white. Just kind of looks gray. This time I'm not going to use my scoreboard, but I want it to be 2 inches. So I'm using my mat here to measure 2 inches up. There we go. And fold. And do a 2-inch fold that way. So I didn't use my scoreboard that time. And thing is, I really don't like, I was gonna do one without rounded edges, but I really don't like it. I am such a predictable creator. Maybe it puts me in a rut, but I just like the finished look that this has. Now, because I did that fold without a scoreboard, I'm going to just use my bone folder. And that's a little bit of a smudge there, but some of that's going to get cut off. Now, I still need 1 inch and I still need 3 inches. This has direction, so I want to make sure I put my directional piece up where it belongs. So I have... You know what? I did that backwards because I wanted that to show. That's all right. We can still do this. I want this piece to be the one that's folded. I want that to be folded up at 2 inches. Come on. There. There we go. I want that to be 2 inches. I want this to be 1 inch. Let me cut off 1 inch here. Slight change of plans, that's all. There, line it up, get it straight. 1 inch, so there's my 1 inch piece that's going down here. And then I need the 3 inch piece. Yeah, let's do it this way. Will it matter? I don't think it will. I'm going to put the 3 inch piece this way, and because I have that fold there, but I think it's not going to matter in the end. And there's that. Okay, let's go ahead and do my corners. So on this Maker Monday, I'm actually filming this on Saturday beforehand, so I hope the weather will still be nice on Monday. It is chilly today, but it is really very pleasant. Okay, now what's nice about this one, because it has that, well, that has the double-sided rather than these that have just the plain white. This you could put into a pocket. You could fill it up and throw it into a pocket, and now you've got a little portfolio. See, we're going to do this, and this, and this. And we have something completely different. Yeah. Look at that. I'm debating if I like this. I'm debating if I want to cut that off anyway. I think even though this is two-sided, I think I'm going to cut that off because I really want the butterflies. And I'm just going to use my scissors to do that with, because I have a nice cut to follow. So I think I'll be okay. I'm not the world's greatest cutter. So now this, and this. Yeah, don't you like that better? And then when it goes into the portfolio, if you want to flip it over, you have that side. All right. Okay. I hope you're having a good time today. I am obviously just playing here. I'm going to just bring the whole book over so that I can, I want to do that onto here. We'll just put that up there. So we are obviously not doing a whole lot of vacationing right now. What's one of the things the foods that I absolutely love. Oh shoot, I just did that on the wrong side because I'm talking to you and I'm not paying attention. All right, we'll just scrape all that off of there. And do it the right way this time. You were probably yelling at me. See, you're about to do it the wrong way again. One of the foods that I absolutely love, and I don't get very often, is a fish fry. And this time of the year, because it is Lent, there are fish fries all over the place. So I got a fish fry yesterday, and it was wonderful. I have not had a fish fry in a while. And this is what I call fish fry season. I know you're supposed to be giving things up during Lent, and I have been bad this year. I have not really thought much about it or done much with it, but I was really glad to get the fish fry yesterday. Okay, I'm going to slide this over just a little bit. There we go. What I like about the Fabri-Tac is that you have a little bit of leeway, a little bit of time to move things around if you need them to be moved around. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here. And while at times that makes you want to yell at it, at other times you're very grateful that you can still slide things around. There. I like how that came out. I did not distress this one at all. And that actually was by design because I don't know how I'm going to end up using that one. So we'll just set that one aside. And let's move on to the next one. Now this one I am definitely using the white. Okay. I'm debating which one I want on the bottom. I think I want this one on the bottom. And I'm going to go back and use my scorecard again, because that was really hard to do. So I'm going to go this way and get out my, this opens up to be 12 inches, which I really like. I'm scoring at the 2 line. It's the only score that I'm making on these, so it's okay. I don't mind that. I just have to do the 1. This one, I tell you what, this one I will leave square. I'll try. I won't guarantee. I'm going to try to leave it square. Okay, some of these are kind of all directional roses. It doesn't really matter. They go all different directions. So there really isn't an up or a down on this particular sheet of paper. So there's my 1, there's my 3, there's my extra. Oh, that's my extra from before. I didn't tuck it in my thing, so I'm going to do that so that I can do something with it later. Okay, set you to the side. Oh, that was also the extra piece that I cut off, so I'm going to stick that there too. 1 and 3 and 3. Okay, now I'm not going to like the white. I want to put something pink in there, and I'm going to grab my cheat sheet. I did a swatch chart for myself so that I could see what colors would work well. I've got Victorian Velvet. I think that's probably the color I want. And I'm just looking to see if there's something else, because these are my oxides, these are my inks. And I don't have anything in the ink that I like. Spiced Marmalade is kind of nice. Maybe Spiced Marmalade and Victorian Velvet. Okay, now the problem is I have to find those two. Spiced Marmalade and Victorian Velvet. Now this Spiced Marmalade is an ink, and my inks are by no means organized. Spiced Marmalade. That was, okay, easier than I expected it to be. So that's Spiced Marmalade, and it already has a thing on the back. So let's go ahead and do that up. Oh, that goes on my chipped, and I forgot it. Okay, grab this and my paper, and this is going to be a little bit pink or a little bit orangey, which is okay. We're just going to put a little bit of layer. I got a piece of fuzz there. Okay, so now when I bring that up, you can see that it's a little bit orangey, and that's okay. I put that down just as a base layer, and we'll put my little dauber thingy there so that I won't lose it. That's all set. Now, what did I say the other one was? Victorian Velvet. Okay, Victorian Velvet is a, what did I just say? It's an oxide. I say, as if it really is. Yes, it is. Victorian Velvet. And, oh good, it does have a thing on the back. I don't have a thing on the back of all of these yet, because some of them are new, or I just haven't used them, and so I don't have anything there. Okay. Now I do have the brushes. And like I said, I don't care if it's, what's the word I want? I'm not looking for smooth, even color. Okay. That's not bad. I could do with a little bit more pinky stuff. Let's put a little more pinky down here. And see what that does. Excuse me. Okay. I'm not going for even color. I'm going for no white. There we go. I like that. And I like the play of the two colors together, which may or may not be showing up on the screen. And I'm sorry if it is not. This is the only thing I don't like is you have to put it this way, which means, and because these don't lie flat, I can make images with that. I have to find a better storage solution for my inks because right now they're a mess. Okay, I am going to do this, but you know what else I'm going to do with this one? I am going to go ahead and vintage photo every single one of these because I really want to push the antique look, the vintage look of this. So I am going to add in that look to the whole thing. They are already pretty yellowed, like I said, because this is an older pack, but I'm going to push that even further. All right. Yeah, I keep one of these permanently with Vintage Photo. It never has any other color on there but Vintage Photo. All right, let's go ahead and attach this one. And it doesn't matter which side I do because it's has an omnidirectional pattern and I didn't round it. So there we go. And the same thing with this one. Does not really have a pattern. Doesn't really matter. So we're making these a bunch of different ways. We're making them with rounded corners. We're making them with square corners. We're making them with a scoreboard. We're making them without a scoreboard. We're cutting them with a scissors. We're cutting them with a, what do you call that? Paper cutter. Oops. Might help if you do this one. You're probably sitting there going, hello? You forgot the flap. Now, absolutely, you could leave this as a flap. Variations. Think variations, think creativity. I could make that a pocket. I could make this a flap. I could make that a pocket. I could make that a pocket. I'm going to make all of mine pockets. So, but you know what? You do you. As you're making these, make whatever variations you want. You've seen that I'm doing variations of all sorts. Somewhere I flip up my bottom. This one's a flipped up bottom, or where did I flip up bottom? Did I change my mind on all of them? No, so this is a flip. Hello. Stay down. So this is a flip up bottom. That's a cut bottom. This is a flip up, or a cut bottom. That's a flip up bottom. This is a flip up bottom. This is a flip up bottom, but I did different things to the corners. I am going to take my extra piece and throw it in there. So I have all these pieces. Look at this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 done so far. And 3 are kind of in the purple. That's more purpley than blue, isn't it? So I've got a bunch in the purple. I've got enough papers out here for one more. So I'm going to sit here and do one more page. And I think, believe it or not, I'm not going to do a flip up on this one. I'm going to cut that at 2 inches. I'm going to cut it right here at 2 inches because I want those 2 inches down on the bottom piece. These are green and pink roses. And then this one, come on, I'm cutting at 1 inch. and at 3 inches. And I've got an extra little piece. All right, so now I'm going to have this and this and this. Okay, this is really not my style so much, but I have to admit, when you put them together, that looks kind of cool. And I'm not going to round these edges either. I'm going to just leave it just like it is. And I am going to simply glue them together. So you can see how fast you can do these if you're not fussing around. If you're just cutting and gluing, you can do one of these in about 5 minutes. In fact, while I've been fussing around, you've probably been gluing and got them all done already. There we go. Gotta take that extra glue that's on my finger and get it off there. Okay. Make sure I'm going the right way. Easier to do it if I hold it on the opposite side. There. Put it down on my paper. And done. That was fast. I mean, that really, if you're not fussing around and you're not goofing up and you're not trying to ink and you're not trying to corn around and you're just slapping papers together, look at how fast that was. So we have 1, 2, 3 in that palette, its own, and then 1, 2, 3 in this palette. This has been Mass Make Monday. I hope you're having a good time. Make sure you leave a comment below and let me know how things worked out for you in doing this project. In the meantime, this is Cindy signing off.